The following is brought to you by the Social Suplex Podcast Network.
This is All Things Elite. Welcome back to All Things Elite. Load up the pod, man, it's on when we speak. Rich right here, let me warm it up for Austin and Floyd. Couldn't be no one but the boys. When it come to All Things Elite from the fan perspective, swear, man, it ain't no question. Hear from them first. Swear, man, they putting in the work. No, they had to get me for the verse. Social Suplex Network's on. I was at a time in your headphones. Austin and Floyd on the microphone. Backing out on the ring, getting in the zone. Pulling up the show, give it 7 stars, you already know. Who else could it be but the show with the proclivity for positivity? I'm gone.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the 278th episode of Social Suplex's podcast about AEW with a proclivity for positivity. Welcome to All Things Elite. My name is Austin Sumwitz. I'm the host of this lovely show. Joining with me, as always, is my good buddy and friend, Mr. Floyd Johnson Jr. My man, how's it going?
Dude, supercalifragisticexpialidocious, is that how it goes? I don't know. This is like the most amazing thing ever. So this is going to be an amazing shoe week for me. So today, a few days ago, my friend Raymond Bleacher, his Instagram is at blueprint_OKC. Blueprint_OKC. Make sure you check him out on Instagram. And he put out a pair of Spider-Man shoes, like some Oklahoma City Thunder shoes. And what I saw is he is the one that did my original pair of FTR shoes. They're actually still on the page if you ever want to look them up. But and my AEW shoes if you've ever seen them. So I love custom shoes. Like, I love shoes as artwork. You know, that's what I think about custom shoes. They're a piece of artwork that represents something that I love. In this case, AEW FTR. Well, I saw he was good then, but he has evolved. And I saw some shoes that he's done, and he has some like Dragon Ball Z shoes, some Hello Kitty, and he has gotten really just excellent at it. I think he is like 3-star to 5-star, right? Like, he's, to me, Mock Customs level. If you know who Mock or Mache, I don't know how to pronounce his name, Customs, he's on that level to me. So I said, hey, let's do some new FTR shoes. I sent him a little message. I was like, what can you do? And I sent him a couple pair of shoes that I was looking at online. I wanted more of a black and white shoe to kind of more go with everything that I own, right? So I sent him a 2 pair, and he picked the Dunks. What they call the Panda Dunks is what you call them?
The Panda Dunks, yes. I had a pair of those.
Panda Dunks. So Raymond lives in the same city as me, so I went to the Nike outlet that we had, bought the pair of shoes, and I'm gonna go real quick through this because I don't want to. I could make this story very long if I wanted to. I went there to buy the shoes. They actually gave me a discount. Bought the shoes, dropped them off at his house, and then I had only sent him at that point 2 pictures. I sent him the FTR, the new FTR like black and silver ones that says Living Legend Killers. And I sent him the Shatter Machine picture, right? And he was like, I need a little more. So I sent him the 7-star FTR shirt. I sent him the Top Guy shirt. Then I sent him a bunch of pictures from my belt. And I said, greatest tag team of all time. I gave him all the stuff. But my thing is, with artists, I am not an artist. I'm not artistic. I can barely draw a straight line. I want to make that very clear. So my vision for these shoes, I had no vision for these shoes. I wanted them to be FTR shoes. So I told him, play with it. Have fun with it. Do something. I was like, I will tell every person I know about your shoe place. And I, of course, bought the shoes and paid for it. So this is not like a paid sponsorship. I paid him because he is an artist, and I do think artists deserve money for their shoes. For their work. So I commissioned these, paid him for the shoes. He sent me them today, and dude, I am not cry of happiness person. Never been. Like, tears of joy is not a thing that I do. I get really pumped up, like, let's fucking go. I start yelling. I'll run around. I'm like, I get really athletic when I'm happy. So when I got these shoes, it was like, I looked at my wife and I said, holy fuck. And I was like, he did it. And I sent her and she's like, those are fucking amazing. Which, again, my wife doesn't cuss. And that was her thought process. And I looked at him and I was like, OMFG, which is not something I use very often. What's your Cash App? That's it. I was like, what's your Cash App? Like, money. Here it comes. And yeah, he sent me the shoes. Of course, I sent him the Dax first. He's seen them, but has not replied. Whatever. He's a busy man, so I don't really expect him to reply to any messages that I send. Sent them out to people, and I even said I looked at Winston, the love of my life, and I said, "You've been replaced, sir. I got a new I got a new baby, and it's these shoes." So to describe them the best that I can, they are on my Twitter at Floyd Johnson Jr. I don't think I've put them on Twitter yet. They're on my Instagram. I don't know if it's at Floyd Johnson Jr. Yeah, it's Floyd A. Johnson Jr. on Instagram. And I've posted them. I'm going to post them on Twitter, and I'm going to share them from the All Things Elite page before the show comes out. Go check them out. And if you can, go follow him on Instagram. Even if you're not going to order shoes, please follow Blueprint _8 at OKC Raymond Bleacher. Please follow him. Share the picture out as many places as you can. This is not about me. This is just a friend of mine that I think is ultra talented, that I think there is a place in the custom shoe marketplace for. So it's just, I'm not, no kickbacks, no anything like that. It's just, I think he's that talented, and we graduated together. He actually, talk about his art going away. He designed our class shirt from when we graduated high school in 1999. So this dude's always been artistic, and he deserves all his flowers because he's amazing. So to describe him, on one side of the shoe, it's FTR and their stylized logo, all black and white, like in red. On the other side of the shoe is literally Cash and Dax doing the Shatter Machine. So that's on the right shoe is FTR. On the left shoe is Shatter Machine. So these are a pair of shoes, but they're basically two separate things. On the left shoe it says Top Guys. Right shoe it says, well, I guess left shoe it says Living Legends. Right shoe it says Top Guys. Then it has the 7 stars on it. And then I'm hoping I'm doing a good job describing these because it's fucking, I mean, there's a lot going on.
It's hard to describe them without cool they look.
Yeah, there's a lot fucking going on with them too. And then on the back of the left shoe, it says Dax and Cash. On the right, it says Greatest Tag Team, or GTT OAT. Dude, tear in my eye. I think these are like made for me. I like one of ones or whatever. Actually, might end up being 2 of ones because I'm pretty sure I'm going to get JR a pair. Because when I told him the order, originally it was for 2 pair, right? But because I didn't know clearly what I wanted in my mind and what I wanted him to do, I wanted to give him a pair, let him do his thing, make sure I liked them, and before I ordered the second pair, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, if you can't hear from me talking, the likelihood of me ordering a second pair is pretty fucking certain. So yes, if you have something you love, your Pistons, your Lions, I think he has done pretty much a lot of teams, NFL, NBA. If you got a favorite team or a favorite wrestler like your CM Punk, I'm pretty sure he could do something fucking amazing.
I had a feeling he'd probably be able to, yeah.
Yeah, do something fucking amazing with CM Punk. Yeah, please hit him up. Get quotes. Please don't waste his time. If you have no desire to order, do not message him. That is a personal thing. That is not from him. Just if you want to do it, what it is, you pay for the shoes. You send him the shoes. He does the artwork. If you need any help as far as getting the shoes to him or everything, you can definitely go through me. I have no problem with it. Of course, there's no charge. Like I said, I've known Raymond my whole life. There's no charge for me delivering the shoes and stuff. I want to make sure that's clear. He is going to charge you for the art. He is going to charge you full price. There's no homie hookups. There's no discounts. This is an artist. I think, you should pay him for his work. So he does a good job. I'm going to stop now because I actually can talk about it. I could have done a whole show about how much I fucking love these shoes, but we got stuff to talk about. But I really, when someone does something great and, and you get something commissioned and all that stuff, you really want to give them their flowers. You really want to let them know. I told them how awesome I thought he is, how much I appreciated him. So make sure, go Instagram, Blueprint, that's all one word, _OKC. Please follow him. I don't know how many people listen to the show, but if he could get 50 to 100 new followers from there and a couple shoe orders, man, my birthday is June 10th. That's what I want for my birthday. What I want for my birthday is for everybody to follow him, everybody to follow Blueprint _OKC. And if we can get a couple of you to put in a couple orders and let him show you why he's one of the best custom shoe guys going right now, that would be fucking awesome.
Absolutely. Shout out to that man. Shout out to those shoes because they are absolutely fire. But guys, we got a lot to get into. It is Double or Nothing weekend. We were trying to record an episode last week. Unfortunately, Floyd's computer crashed and just
died.
Left us. It just died.
Yeah, and it was like I could figure it out, but it was already 1 a.m. Eastern time when we were trying to record, and I was like, it could have took me 5 minutes, it could have took me an hour, but my boy needs sleep, and he has a real job. so that had to come first. So we had to skip last week, even though I really wanted to do a show because I thought last week was fire. It was pretty fire, yeah. Is there any tidbits you want to
just real quickly just fire off from last week before we get into this go home week?
Not really. I just think if you listen to podcasts, you've heard it all. So I would just be regurgitating. So let's just talk about what happened this week.
For sure. But yeah, so we're back at it, and we're going to go through this week, obviously, and going to give our preview for Double or Nothing this weekend. Before we get into everything, guys, please make sure you're downloading this fine show on YouTube Music, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you choose to listen to us on. Give us a share with your friends, family, coworkers, who you wish. Rate, review, subscribe, turn automatic downloads on, and follow us on Twitter at ATElitePod. You can also follow Social Suplex at Social Suplex, and make sure you check out all the other shows that this lovely network has that you should check out and give a listen to. I am at Austin Sumowitz, SZUMOWICZ, and Floyd is at Floyd Johnson Jr. on Twitter. And one more time, I'm going to remind you guys, we have shirts at Chop Tees, so you can go on to Chop Tees, grab an All Things Elite shirt or a Social Suplex shirt, and you can also sign up for the first Social Suplex newsletter, and those links will be in the description of the show. Show some love, show some support. We really appreciate it. So again, links are in the show. Go to Chop Tees, get yourself a t-shirt, and maybe decide to sign up for the newsletter. We would really, really appreciate it. Big news of the week. We had two big signings, actually, because Willow Nightingale was confirmed to have re-signed with AEW on a multi-year deal. That was confirmed last week. But then also tonight was official. The graphics showed up. And our girl, Mina Shirakawa, is officially all elite. She is signed with AEW. Massive stuff, which is why I was so hyped when she got the win last week on Dynamite. I was genuinely so hyped for her. But yeah, honestly, man, two really big signings. Incredible for the women's division, which has been killing it recently. Two girls, especially Willow. Her re-signing was such a massive deal, I feel like, because she's so over. Mina just...
Other than Britt, I don't think there's any more woman that you identify with AEW than Willow Nightingale.
I agree.
I mean, I saw her on like the pre-show of an ROH, a pre-show of AEW. She has really worked her way up from somebody that was just kind of there to a significant part of the roster to, you know, she's about to be the first, you know, female in Anarchy in the Arena. It was funny because people were like, woo, and like wiping sweat. I personally there was never a doubt. You know, I've heard this term never flinch, but I didn't even think of it was a possibility of her going anywhere else. Not because of her talent. She's just so AEW, like everything about her screams AEW. You know, how she cuts promos, how she wrestles, everything about her screams AEW, and I'm glad that she's staying. I'm glad it's official now. But yeah, I don't know about you, I never thought she was going anywhere.
I didn't think so either.
Yeah, and it's just like, when you look at the two deepest women's divisions in professional wrestling right now, it's AEW and WWE. That's where they're at. So I personally, with a few examples, I don't think there's really a lot of room from the top, AEW to go to WWE and vice versa. I feel like their divisions are fairly set. You know what I mean? So I was like, I was looking I know Willow would go in there and she would do her best and they would see how amazing she is and they would find her spot for her. But I think there's a clear ceiling in WWE that doesn't exist in AEW. So.
Yeah, I can definitely see that as well. I think that's a good observation on your end.
Yeah, so it's like, so I really like how the divisions are set. And when you look at it, and this is not an insult or anything, this is just, again, an observation. When you got Britt healthy, sitting at home, Deanna healthy, she's on ROH, Taya Valkyrie, these are all former women. One's a former AEW champion, two are former ROH champions. Nyla's not really been used. You have this whole roster of women not being used that you could literally build a women's division on. You know what I mean? So it's pretty stacked in AEW right now. Mariah May's taking a break, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's these are two of the most stacked women's divisions in the world right now. And shit, Athena's not even being used on Dynamite.
She's not even really fully main roster yet.
Yeah, so it's just like, this is one of the best divisions in the world. Like I said, this is not a slight at any other company. I do know I like to have my fun and take my shots at WWE. But in this case, this is about how good the women are in AEW, not about anybody else. And so I'm glad that she got to stay because the AEW women's division stays as strong as it's ever been. And
1,000%.
And then you add Mina, who, as much as it's like it's a signing, she's felt like family for about 2 years now. So
no, for real,
it's like it's like this cousin that you find out is your sister one day. It's like, oh, you always felt like a sister, that kind of thing. So
yeah.
Like, so she's there, she's with it. I think Mina's fun, and I think she brings fun to the division. I mean, her, Harley. Like I said, I truly think, as far as comedy, action, promos, characters, this women's division, most well-rounded women's division in wrestling.
I 1,000%. Like, dude, it's just so nice to be able to finally say that too, with the growth that the women's division has been on for the last few years now. It's been amazing to see. But
yeah, it hasn't always been what we wanted it to.
No, not even close.
We would tell you when it's not been what it wanted to. But I feel like they've really found their stride with Tony and Mercedes are the faces of the women's division, and you got so much talent that I do think Willow's going to be the face of the AEW women's division one day. I do think there's going to be Chris Statlander's going to have her time, and I mean, like I said, I haven't even said Sheeta.
She's dealing with her visa shit right now.
Yeah, she's basically the ace of the division, and she's not there. So there is so much talent there that I am just very happy with the women's division right now.
Absolutely. I am as well. We'll go ahead and get right into the Go Home Dynamite, which opened up with another banger of a face-off between Will Ospreay and Hangman Adam Page, obviously building up to their final in the Owen Hart Cup tournament. And they came out. They agreed not to get physical. Ospreay asked him if he still drank, and it was just, we get a couple of brews.
That cool little detail of sending all the security back saying, "I'll make sure you still get paid." Completely unnecessary. They were going to get paid no matter what. But I just thought it was such a cool detail to even represent how down to earth Will Ospreay is.
Yeah, just showing why these guys are both fan favorites. And they basically, Ospreay made it clear and told Tony Khan and petitioned for them to main event Double or Nothing, which means they'd have to follow Anarchy in the Arena. And they still said, we can do that 1,000%. And he laid it out, how he's done everything right, lives and breathes AEW. And he said, you know what? I want nothing more than to walk in August at Forbidden Door in London with that AEW World Championship and have it for his son to see his dad as AEW champion. And he said, I know you want this, but I just want a little bit more. And Hangman actually agreed because he knows that feeling. He's lived it. This would be a professional accomplishment for Will. The biggest thing, the biggest that either of them could have dreamed of. But that's all it is for Ospreay, a professional accomplishment. But it's personal for Hangman because he needs this opportunity. And he wasted 2 years of his life filled with nothing but grief, sorrow, and hate. And he's not won a single title in 2 years. And he said, I was home, and he brought up his kids and just, and had to look at the man that, that he was, and that he's not there. He's just not even close to what he used to be. So he said he needs to know that there can be some kind of light at this end of this 2-year tunnel of hell. So Hangman Ospreay was like, oh, what are you going to do about it then? He's like, are you going to take a chair on my head? Are you going to try to retire me like you did CD? Because that's not happening. And basically he's like, I've won the fans' trust. And Hangman immediately responded like, do you even think you can go up against the Death Riders? I think I can. You admitted you don't know how. And they just go back and back and back and forth and back and forth. Ospreay literally says, I'm the best in the fucking world. And he'll be happy for Page if he wins it, but he knows it's going to take more than one person to bring that belt back. So he still offered his help if he wins. And he says, you know what, if it goes the other way, I hope you're the same way with me. We're trying to get the belts off of the Death Riders. So just two guys, top of their game, two faces of AEW, two massive fan favorites, just being who they are and just building hype for this face versus face tournament final for a title shot. And dude, everyone was in it, like off of every single word. The promos these guys have done have been spectacular these last few weeks, and this was no exception. They just kicked off the show with a bang with this promo, and the excitement for this main event is huge, and it is the main event now, so it's honestly fire that this is closing the show instead of Anarchy in the Arena. I'm honestly super hyped about that.
Yes, this is the most anticipated match of the weekend, the most anticipated match of the month. I am going to do my best not to overhype it, but you are talking about one of the main character, that term's being used, of AEW since the beginning. Again, I of course think the main character is MJF, but hey, I might be wrong. And then Will Ospreay, who is by any measure the best in-ring worker in the world. I'm talking strikes, high flying, best all-around in-ring performer in the world. And I do think it's close. I think there's a lot of people I would put in that conversation. I'm not going to list them because I'm not trying to start a fight, but I do think that Japanese guy in the Don Callis family is pretty fucking good at this whole thing. But yes, so you got an exceptional performer. I think you have one of the best fully fleshed characters in professional wrestling, Hangman. When you talk about over the 6 years, I don't think there has ever been a wrestler in the history of my time as wrestling that has had more layers than Hangman. Like, he was the millennial, he had hate, he had love. He has emotions that you don't really see you've never seen really represented in American professional wrestling. That man was sad. When have you seen a main guy be presented as sad?
I know.
You know, like he was sad. He was anxious millennial cowboy that was scared of the spot. He didn't know if he was good as Kenny. These are emotions that are specifically 2025, 2020s, or whatever, that you have never seen presented in a hero in professional wrestling. Hangman is all of these things. And Will Ospreay is just like, right now he's the babyface. He is the good guy. He's like, dude, I'm going to do my best. And if it's not good enough that day, it's not good enough that day. I'm not going to be taking out the ref. I'm not going to be doing that. I'm just going to do my best and see if my best is good enough. He is as baby face as you could baby face. But Hangman, man, he's a fucking onion. And every time you pull a layer, there's another one there. So it's like these are both two good guys, but they're same side of a different coin. And I pointed this out to Jackie. Shout out Jackie if you're listening. I have never seen this, a face versus face battle coming up, where to me the support is so one-sided.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen it said 99% to 1% for Hangman. I'm probably going to go 70-30. I'm probably going to go a little more conservative, but I do think it's an overwhelming majority of people want to see Hangman win this match. And I don't think they'll turn on Will Ospreay if he wins, but I think if you want that impactful, people going crazy, Hangman wins. We'll talk about what my prediction is later, but I was just talking about how it fits in and where the fan base seems to be kind of torn. Well, not really torn. They're all leaning one way as far as the Hangman getting the win.
Yeah. We then moved into the All-Star Trios tag. This is kind of similar to what we had last week with the massive multi-man match. It was Jon Moxley and the Young Bucks going up against Samoa Joe, Powerhouse Hobbs, and Swerve Strickland. And just like last week, where everyone in this feud was just going at each other as they announced Anarchy in the Arena and everything like that. This was just so fun. Joe and against Moxley and the Bucks is just so fucking entertaining and so much fun to watch. I loved how Hobbs was able to stop Mox from trying to go into Swerve, and Mox proceeded to then bite Powerhouse Hobbs, which I thought was really cool. And yeah, I just thought it was really, really cool about how they moved right into this. And, you know, with this being Anarchy in the Arena, these guys were just all getting involved. There was a brawl afterwards. You know, Shibata gets involved and Claudio gets involved as well. And, you know, it's especially, you know, I'm still looking forward to being able to see Willow and our girl, oh my God.
Marina Shafir.
Marina Shafir. Jesus Christ, Austin, get it together.
I got your back.
Yes. So I loved Willow coming out to pounce Shafir. So seeing them get involved with each other was awesome. Yeah, it's basically giving you exactly the build that you need for this match, which is, you know, you're going into the insanity that Anarchy in the Arena brings. These guys are all capable of just doing the most batshit insane stuff, as well as the girls too. So it's going to be a lot of fun. This is a great first match of the show, and it was just really entertaining.
Yes, I completely agree. Yeah, these, again, AEW does the six-man better than anybody ever. And I say ever, but people say PWG, and they say these are basically PWG six-man matches. Cool. I never watched PWG. I think I've watched one PWG, like, show or match ever. And people are like, you go back and watch PWG. And I'm like, No, not because I don't like it. It's just I don't want to go back and watch that and then it burned me out on what I'm watching now. I'm just going to watch what I enjoy now. This match is great. I agree or disagree, Austin. I made this tweet and you might have seen it. Best presentation of Powerhouse Hobbs, period, the whole time he's been in AEW. Okay, Austin must have stepped away. So, yes, I truly believe this is the best presentation of Powerhouse Hobbs ever. I think when it comes to him, this is the best I've seen him as far as being kind of unstoppable, dominating, just badass by every means of the term. Him throwing that spine buster, it's like he feels like he could win a champion. Like, this dude was the TNT champion and had a whole group behind him, but he does not seem as badass as he does right now. He just feels like they understand in the ops, they understand who Powerhouse Hobbs is. They're presenting Powerhouse Hobbs that way, and it's amazing. I am not unbiased when it comes to Powerhouse Hobbs. He's one of my favorites. I love the man. I wish the world for him, but I've always thought that they never had the nail on the head of who he was. There was that point in time where he originally joined the Downhouse family where he's just fucking destroying people, but in the ops, dude, he doesn't sell every little hit or anything like that. I feel like this is the best Powerhouse Hobbs has ever been presented.
No, and I love him. I love him being involved in the ops. The only thing with that though is I know because he was thrown in there to fill in because of Hook's thing and everything like that. So my hope is that our boy Hook is able to kind of come back in at some point or whatnot or whatever the case may be. I don't want him to be left in the dust just because of his injury. I do think Hobbs, it fits so well for him to be involved with this. It just makes too much sense. But, Hook being the original member, you kind of wonder like, oh, well.
Yeah. And look at this. We got Hook that had I believe what's called a serious concussion. That's why I believe he's gone right now. And then you have Pac, who got hurt, right? Mm-hmm. And these two were, if you're saying the plans are staying, we're supposed to be in Anarchy in the Arena. And you're like, man, I remember there was a time in AEW that would have sent them scrambling. But the company is so deep. They just move Will Hobbs into Hook's spot right now. Seamlessly. Move Will Hobbs in Hook's spot. Seamlessly grab Gay Kid and kind of move him up into that spot. Yeah. And it's just like, boom, have lost nothing. Pac is one of the best wrestlers in the world. Hook is obviously, they see future in Hook as one of their top guys. They go out, major problem for AEW in 2020, 2019, 2021, 2025, they're so deep. They just had next man up. And it worked so well. And I cannot wait for Hook and Pac to get back. Speedy recovery to them both. But I just think it tells to how it leans to how deep this AEW roster is and how good they are at adjusting on the fly.
For sure. We then get the moment we were waiting for. Hurt Syndicate officially having their contract signing for MJF to join the Hurt Syndicate as the official fourth member. And they go out and they make their way to the ring.
MVP went heel, which was like, because the Hurt Syndicate was face leaning for months. Yes. And he went in on New Mexico.
Oh my God.
He was killing New Mexico, telling people to shut up, and yeah, he was killing New Mexico. I don't know if you noticed that he kind of like...
Yeah, no, he was going after him.
Everything was just business recently, but he went full on, I hate you, New Mexico. Which, yeah.
Yeah, so they come out, MJF's got a gold suit on, and, they talk about all this type of stuff. There's a point where MJF proceeds to call out his mom, calls her a bitch, because of course he does.
But she did lie to him, because she said the day you find out that you meet your love of your life is going to be the happiest day of your life. And she's like, But that bitch never joined the Hurt Syndicate, which is true. She never did join the Hurt Syndicate.
That's true, yeah. But damn. So he goes out. They all sign in due time. Lashley hesitated for a moment. There was a quick little word with the attorney, and he eventually did sign. And MJF goes. He puts on the Hurt Syndicate hat. He looks like a jackass. But then Sammy Guevara and Dustin Rhodes, the current Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions, they will be facing Benjamin and Lashley for the AEW World Tag Team Championships at Double or Nothing, and tell Max to shut his mouth. Dustin basically just talks about how much he hates MJF and needs him to know that. He brings up his past with MVP.
Just to interrupt for a second, Dustin Rhodes is a legend. Like, the Rhodes family has been entertaining me for a lot of years. I say this to say, but did it feel like he droned on a little too long in this promo?
Little bit.
And I was like, hey, man, you hate everybody. It's going to be a fight. I'm not saying it just felt like he said way too many words to get the point that he was trying to get across.
I think, yeah. I mean, it didn't need to be like that.
As a person that's an over-talker, I felt like he over-talked.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. But eventually, they talk about that and everything like that. But then as that happens and they say how they want more gold, he dared Lashley and Benjamin to jump him and, basically, just said, you're going to see us on Sunday. So that's how that closed out. Should be a lot of fun. But at least we have MJF. He's in the Hurt Syndicate, so he's officially in it. So we're now we see where we go from here.
I made this comment on the Lost episode because I've seen a little dissension and a little complaining about the tag team division in AEW. I want you to go back in the history of AEW, right, and see the last time the tag team titles were defended on this many pay-per-views in a row. Hurt Syndicate is on TV every week carrying the tag team titles. They're booked on every pay-per-view with the tag team titles. The tag team titles mean more now in the Hurt Syndicate than they've ever meant in AEW because they are this monster tag team that no one can even compete with. So whenever they decide to have a team beat them, it is going to be a moment. Now, are they having some less than stellar tag teams on the pay-per-views right now? Sure. But you're reestablishing the Young Bucks over here. You're reestablishing FTR. You're establishing the Paragon for the first time. There's work being done underneath to make opponents for the Hurt Syndicate that I wouldn't want any of those three teams rushed into this title shot right now because you don't think they're going to beat the Hurt Syndicate. But as they're building up those wins underneath, it's going to lead to a big match with the Hurt Syndicate. And right now, this is where the titles belong. They are featured. They are on a team that's pretty much unstoppable because I don't know if y'all have listened to this show. How many years have I been asking for a monster tag team that just runs through everybody? We have that. The purpose of the monster tag team that runs through everybody is that when you build that team to eventually beat them, whether it's cheating, I would love it to be a babyface feed team that just does better that day, but it's going to mean more now because the Hurt Syndicate has been established as such a strong tag team.
Yeah. It's going to get better. I think it's people are going to realize how many teams are going to be able to. I know. It's almost 2 a.m. over here, man. It's crazy. It's crazy shit.
Yeah, and I'm up this late every night, so this is
exactly. So there you go. But I'm right there with you though. The growth of the tag team division, people are going to feel it. I think sooner than they think. Quick little challenge. Okada challenged out Speedball Mike Bailey. Well, actually, no. He made it clear, you don't get to call me out. I call you out if you're going to try to come after my Continental Championship. So Okada versus Speedball Mike Bailey for the Continental Championship will be happening at Double or Nothing. should be a fire match. Speedball's been getting incredible reactions as of late. He's been really wrestling his ass off. The fact that he gets to wrestle Okada for a championship at a major pay-per-view for AEW this early is wild. So it should be a lot of fun to see that match.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, as much as any problem I have with Speedball regularly stops once he gets in the ring.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then we go right into Ricochet versus Anthony Bowens. And yeah, it was just kind of a quick little match that got put together before the show even went to air. Basically, the whole thing was, who's the real Scissor King, which I thought was a funny little tagline.
They need to go back to the drawing board with Anthony Bowens.
Yeah, unfortunately, it just feels like...
I don't think anything about this character right now is... I don't even want to use the word over. I don't think the fans... Because to me, over... nothing's going to be like immediately like that.
Right.
I don't think the fans care to the point where their care could grow for this. And I think it's the beginning execution. I saw Lyric Wrestling say he's basically still doing the Acclaim thing, but in different colors.
Right.
I think Billy Gunn's holding him back. Truly do. I truly do. I think
there's that, but I think it's like this 5-tool character player that he's got. He hasn't gone all the way with it. You know. It just feels like he's got one foot in being like, this solo singles wrestler and like his own identity, but then still being the scissor guy from the Acclaimed.
Yes. And he's the 5-tool athlete, right?
5-tool player, yeah.
5-tool player. I truly believe that's a heel gimmick. Anyone that tells you they're perfect is a heel gimmick. Mr. Perfect, heel. The Narcissist, heel. Sean Spears, 10.
Perfect 10, yeah.
Heel. Anytime someone tells you they're perfect, they're a heel. So I'm just like, I think miscast when you did it, when he beat Max, right? You had Max lose to literally everybody, and then Bowens beat Max. Who did Bowens beat? No one.
Exactly, nobody.
Then you had Bowens beat Blake Christian after he had lost to everybody. Who did Bowens beat? Nobody.
Yeah, he's just kind of grifting right now until he actually gets a real legitimate thing going. Yeah,
Dude,
so.
I honestly think, go back to the drawing board, put him on ROH. I know people don't like to hear that. Have him establish himself as a winner there. There's more time to develop his character, to flesh out his character. Make him compete for the ROH World Championship. Compete for this. Maybe even win the ROH World title, right?
Yeah.
Then bring him back to the main roster like you've done with Athena as this established guy that wins, and maybe fans will get behind it. But right now, fans aren't behind him, and I hate it because I fucking love Anthony.
Bowens is so instantly likable and just entertaining.
Dude,
there's nothing to grip on to this character.
I want the world for this man. But the character kind of sucks right now.
Yeah, no, it's not gripping. It's not. There's nothing clinging onto about it that gives people a reason to be like.
Yeah, and I just I don't, like I said, I'm all about tweaks. Don't throw the whole character away. There's tweaks. Maybe Billy Gunn steps back, right? I mean,
sure.
He has 2 stuns he could, manage. And maybe Billy Gunn steps back. Maybe you find a better theme, I mean, I'll be real. I don't like anything about him right now. From the moment he's been presented, it has come off as a lower mid-card guy that gets beat by everybody. He beats the really low people, but anytime he beats anybody with the name, anytime he wrestles anybody with the name, he's going to lose. I don't buy this as a future champion. Maybe I'm wrong. If I am, call me a jackass. I don't know shit. Maybe this is exactly how they want us to feel. But right now, I feel nothing for a person that I fucking love. Every interaction I've had with Anthony Bowens has been amazing. I think he is professional. That dude carries himself like he can be a champion one day. But this presentation right now is just not working.
Yeah. The match itself with Ricochet was pretty decent for the most part. Ricochet got the win basically by taking the scissors and slamming it into Bowens' forehead with a nice little sneak move ahead to dodge the referee. He goes back up the ring and mocks Anthony Bowens. Mark Briscoe then comes out and cuts him down off. He's got a stretcher and he just runs him over with it basically. And then he climbs onto the stretcher, put him on there, jumps on the turnbuckle like he's going to jump on him. But then Ricochet runs off. So, yeah, these guys are going to be facing off in the stretcher match. So I'm just interested to see how that match translates for AEW and everything like that between those guys, because those two are great performers. So I'm interested just to see what the creation of the match is. But it's definitely not the gimmick that I'd be pounding the table for.
Two critiques. One, I don't think the rivalry's hot enough to do a stretcher match. Number two, you got Anarchy in the arena.
Yeah, so why is there another hardcore type match?
Yeah, you should save that for Anarchy in the arena. That was my only thoughts on it. But it's Ricochet, who's to me one of the best heels in wrestling right now. Mark Briscoe, who's one of the most lovable characters in AEW.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna fucking make it work. But those are my initial type of questions about why this type of match.
Yeah. We then had we had a sit down face to face with Jamie Hayter and Mercedes Moné. Because leading off basically with Hayter asking about the idea of her being the underdog and what kind of was the mindset with this. And her response basically was to be like, you don't walk around here like you're the best thing since sliced bread. This means more to me than it does to you, Mercedes. And it's about not being forgotten, it's not just about the title shot. It's about proving that I'm good enough. I had the right to come back and people still care. And Mercedes was asked if that worries her. She said, "Do you know who the hell I am?" And then proceeds to go out and be like, you think you've got it all figured out. You don't know who you're messing with. I'm not looking past you. I'm looking through you like a glass doll. And she said she's 25-0 and she didn't get there by luck. And basically, she's going to see why she calls herself the CEO. And this will be when her chapter ends. Mercedes was then responded by Hayter being like, "I watched you lose your New Japan Strong women's title. And that's your destiny, losing." And then Monet gets pissed off. And as she's about to go out and put her hands on her, she gets and puts out and then proceeds to get hit by Mercedes. But Timeless Tony Storm then gets ready to come out for her commentary for Julia Hart and Mina Shirakawa. But Jamie Hayter gets a little bit of one-upping on Mercedes with a nice little strike on her. And I thought this was damn good. I thought they did a pretty damn good job with this. I thought they've done some good work putting the heat into this feud. I felt like the Detroit show was where they really started to kick it up into gear specifically. So I was liking to see how there was a little bit more going into this, and people seem to be buying into it, I feel like.
Yes, I completely agree with that. I thought this drove home the fact that this is a serious competition. How big the match was, I think it did everything to get that across. And I am I'm looking forward to this match, where I can honestly say when Jamie won, I don't know if I was looking forward to that match, because I don't know if we've seen Jamie at her full-on back.
Excuse me.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen Jamie full-on back, but I thought this promo and the clothesline and the sell of it, all things that led to me being like, okay, this is going to be the match that, I know it can be. So, I think Jamie and Mercedes are going to drive it home and really do a good job with the match. I thought that sell on that clothesline was next level, and it was just like, okay, if she hits her with that during the match, she's gonna put it away.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good statement on that. We moved right into Julia Hart versus Mina Shirakawa with, of course, Timeless Toni Storm on commentary. Thank you, God. I love having Timeless Toni Storm on commentary. She's so entertaining. And this was good. I thought this was damn good as well. Mina Shirakawa's first official match as a signed member of the AEW roster going up against established Julia Hart, I thought was really, really cool. These two, I thought, did some good work together. I liked how Mina was trying to really go after Hart's knee in this match. So there was some good work there. But Shirakawa was able to basically use that to her advantage and get a nice little crucifix pin to get the victory. Julia Hart was very, very mad about that and jumped Shirakawa afterwards. And then she was joined by Sky Blue. So good to see Julia Hart and Sky Blue teamed back up again. And Timeless Toni Storm chases them off, saves her opponent. Shirakawa wasn't really too cool with being saved, though. She was like, why'd you do that? Like, I could handle myself. There was a little bit of tugging for the world championship, and eventually leads to Mina getting Toni tied up in a figure four around the ring post, which I thought was fucking dope to get her some heat, or just get her some momentum, I guess I should say. First off, I'm just happy that Sky Blue and Julia Hart are teamed up again, because I felt like they didn't get a ton to do stuff together before Sky Blue got hurt. So I like the fact that they're back together, and I just want to see them do some more stuff. And yeah, I'm just so happy that Mina's here. Like, full-time Mina's here. I just love that, because I think she's great, and I think she can continue to build. And her match against Toni Storm should be a lot of fun, though.
It should be a lot of fun. I like that they did something. And again, some people might not know this if you don't pay attention to ROH every week. Mina had been winning a lot in ROH up to her AEW debut. Again, you got to use, to me, like when you're definitely introducing new characters and you want to bring them in hot, I think ROH is a perfect place to put a person, get them some wins. You add them some good highlights to their video package, and then call them up to AEW.
Yeah, no, I think it's a good, and it's good to just make sure they keep getting reps too. Like, if they're not on the show, they should do stuff on Ring of Honor or Collision or whatnot.
And that's what I'm like. Like, I don't like, and I'm not trying to hate on Bowens, but I'm just using him as an example because it's the most obvious right now. I don't feel like this was a fully fleshed out character yet. Mm-hmm. And I don't think they've gotten the kinks out of the 5-tool player. Ring of Honor, perfect place to get the kinks out of that. Like, when Athena came, Athena is a full-fledged character, right? She went to ROH, the Barbie beatdown, the minions and all that stuff was all fully fleshed out and developed in ROH. And now it's ready for AEW whenever they want to do it. If they did something like that with Bowens, I think that would make more of an effect and more of the fans buying into him when, he starts winning.
Yeah, I'm right there with you with that. And then the show closed out with the Young Bucks getting interviewed. They called Samoa Joe, I believe, a liar. And then Samoa Joe comes in with a trash can in hand and just starts laying waste. Everybody involved in Anarchy in the Arena start fighting their way down to the ring. And yeah, Gabe Kidd comes in and he proceeds to hit Samoa Joe with the briefcase. And eventually leads to Young Bucks diving on Dick Kenny and Swerve on through tables, which was crazy. Everyone was able to get a bunch in here. And again, there's losing the fact of like Gabe Kidd getting involved to try to give an extra 6-man kind of help, or just an extra like nice little boost to the strength of the Death Riders and everybody in that match, to make sure they have the advantage, which people are now leading to the fact of like, if Eddie Kingston is cleared, he comes out with a gas can.
I love when people catch up with something I brought up on the show like a month ago.
We're all about making sure people realize Floyd's on this train well before anyone has even realized that the train exists.
I was like, as soon as they did it, I was like, Gabe Kidd took Eddie Kingston out. Eddie Kingston's coming back.
I hope so, man. Dude, I hope so. That's the thing I would love the most.
One of the iconic moments of AEW. I just think if you talk about the top 5 iconic images of AEW, it's that motherfucker coming out covered in blood with a gasoline can. I got the exclusive
fucking figure, dude.
Yeah, that dude coming out with blood with the gasoline fucking can. It's one of the images. And where did that happen? That happened at Anarchy in the fucking Arena almost to around a year to the date that Gabe Kidd takes out Eddie Kingston. Gabe Kidd's not officially in the match. Eddie Kingston's not officially in the match. So they can just fucking fight each other, and it's just like, again, nobody can wave that AEW flag like Eddie Kingston. So, dude, I just think King coming out, his music, the world is cold. You better knuckle up. Yeah, let's go. Let's go. I'm excited for him to come back. Eddie Kingston is one of those people. I love him so much because if you ask me to describe everything I like about a professional wrestler, he is none of those things, but he is one of my favorite professional wrestlers.
Yeah, no, Eddie is just, I've missed him so much in AEW, man. If he's cleared.
Yes, I always get in an argument with Sam Brown's listening about, I prefer Iron Man to John McClane, right? The only person that makes me question that is Eddie Kingston because he is every man. He is the New Yorker all through and through. He is him. He is so effortlessly just him that you can't help but root for him.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, I loved how they played the Dynamite theme as everything was still going crazy with everybody keeping with the Anarchy in the Arena theme. And it was a nice way to close out the show, to go home on everything. Like I said, a lot more promos and stuff that I was expecting for the go home show, but either way, built up a lot going into the show.
They're trying to sell some pay-per-views, and
they are.
And with that, I will throw this out there before we get to Collision. Though, if you want to order this pay-per-view in America, it is only going to be available on Prime, payperview.com, and YouTube. That's the only way you're going to be able to order it if you're in the United States. So, no bleacher or no trailer. I guess there's some financial things.
No trailer, yeah.
No trailer in that. If you're in the UK, you're internationally, trailer. It's already listed up there. And if you somehow, and it's $24.99. It's on Triller. All of these are on the pay-per-view site, but just in case you just listen to the show and you don't keep up with AEW all the time, but you happen to listen to the show, I'm reminding you, Triller is not in the U.S. is not an option to buy this pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
And also, you listen to the show. That means that you know about the Social Suplex Podcast Network. Make sure you're following the Social Suplex Discord. I will make sure the link is in there. We want everybody in the Discord. Honestly, it's been weird because I'm on Facebook because I'm old. And I used to have these conversations and we'd have these Facebook groups and you be in there typing everything you thought about AEW. I've noticed in my groups, there are no threads of AEW conversation in show. Where I found that most of these gone now, they've gone to Discords. And I truly believe that AEW, there's a spoiler zone one where it is literally everyone live tweeting during Collision, Dynamite and stuff. I think it's the best thing out there. I've gone to a lot of different Discords. I think you get the most, the bevy of different takes. You get Hangman fans. Of course, you get the FTR fans. You get Will Ospreay, everything. I know this sounds like a commercial. It kind of is because I do want everyone in the Social Suplex Discord.
There you go.
All right.
Yeah, so
sorry, I wasn't saying anything. I was no.
Yeah. But that was AEW Dynamite, the go-home show. We will move quickly over to Collision. Honestly, like I said, it was kind of some solid matches in this, honestly. I enjoyed a lot of the stuff that was in here.
We can really speed run this. We wanted to.
The only thing, bro, honest to God, the only thing I really wanted to heavy in on was the contract signing with FTR and Nigel McGuinness and Daniel Garcia, which I want you to go ahead and take full lead on because you've got some thoughts.
So this was one well done. So of course FTR comes out with Big Stoke, my boy Big Stoke. Big Stoke. They come out there, and then it's Garcia, and then it's Fragile Nigel. He comes out there too, and so they talked. And FTR, graciousness. They're the most gracious tag team in professional wrestling. They just wanted to say, "Hey, Nigel, we didn't want to hurt you. You just happened to get in our business, right? So we know you're fragile. So we're going to let you, we're going to give you a chance to get out of this." And then Cash did some talking, which underrated promo. Cash, he kept saying, "I'm talking." I popped for that. And he was basically saying, y'all aren't tag team. Daniel Garcia, we love you. We care about you. This wasn't supposed to go this way. And, Daniel Garcia's like, "I love you too. But even though you're acting like jackasses right now, which, you don't talk to your elders like that. I know this. I know, everyone knows this. You don't talk to your elders like that. So disrespectful. They should have put Spike Pile Drive them right there, but okay. They are showing discretion. They are the veterans. And then Nigel basically says, somehow he's getting a match, and he starts naming stipulations, saying, "Oh, you're never going to touch me or Tony." They will drop both of you on their head anytime they fucking feel like it. You don't stipulate shit, Nigel, okay? All right. So that pissed me off. That had me hot. What the fuck you stipulating, Fragile? Okay? Fragile McGuinness? No. So he's trying to talk shit. And again, Dax gets on. Dax let Cash do the talking. He's like, "Dude, we don't want to do this to you. I think they kind of do want to do it to him." But New Mexico was really loud and disrespectful. And Dax was trying to talk, and they were booing all loud and all that stuff. They didn't realize that a top guy was on the mic. They don't understand this. There are no top people in New Mexico, okay? New Mexico is a desert. It's barely a state. It's more like a territory. So they were booing. They were disrespectful. There's a whole group of people. If you were born in Mexico, New Mexico, from New Mexico, driven through New Mexico, you are now on the SPD list. Sorry, that's just how this works. They ruined it for everybody. So if you find out that you find out in the morning as opposed to people, "Hey, we got bad necks," understand they did it to themselves. Just like Nigel McGuinness, he's signing the contract. How? Dax said it today. It's like, you are signing this contract, your death warrant, to your executioners. Why would you do this? This is silly. You've sat over there. No one has witnessed FTR's greatness from his spot more than Nigel McGuinness. No one knows what's about to happen to him more than Nigel McGuinness, but he still signed up for this match with Daniel Garcia, who experienced tag. Daniel Garcia is an experienced tag team wrestler? No, not really. And he associates himself with mid-tag teams like Daddy Magic and, the dad dude. I don't know. Is he even a wrestler anymore? All I know is he's a dad now. Not at the moment, no. All I know is he's a dad now. He's not even a wrestler anymore. So you got these three guys. One, future of wrestling. One, fragile as ever. One, great commentator, Daddy Magic. Great commentator. They're lined up against FTR. And I feel bad for Nigel. He's coming in there. He's a fragile person, and his neck is barely held together, and he's going in there with the best tag team in the world. All they can do is make it quick. I'd set the over under 6 minutes. FTR 7 minutes. Over under 7 minutes. Yep. And but this was an all-around great segment. I hope y'all enjoyed it. This is be Nigel's last moment as a promo guy and an active professional wrestler. So I hope y'all enjoy it. We've had Sting's last match. We had Christopher Daniels' last match. Sunday we get Nigel McGuinness's last match. And as an older ROH viewer and a guy that, man, I loved Fortune. He was in those little groups. Yeah, he had a good run. I wish him to. I guess if he can still talk, he can go back to commentating. We got a spot for him.
Yeah, there you go.
Maybe he'll learn to watch his mouth. And when FTR is about to drop Tony Schiavone on his head, mind your damn business. That's all.
There you go. I enjoyed this big time. I love the fact that this opened the show. I love how McGuinness was able to just, kind of just stand idly by for a little bit while FTR laid into him just verbally. I liked his little response and everything like that. The only thing though about it is that Danny Garcia kind of fades in the background a little bit too, with how much they're leaning into McGuinness and everything like that. Like Daniel's just kind of there just to make sure he can give an extra body for Nigel. Is the only thing though that I felt like.
Yes. Daddy Magic, which I don't know what kind of fucking nickname that is, was standing over there just waiting to get slapped. I just like slappable face. I'm glad Cash and Dax were able to hold Big Stoke back from choke slamming him, because that's what
he would have beat the shit out of him.
Yeah, the Big Stoke would have took him out. So I'm glad they were able to hold him back so he didn't do any damage to Daddy Magic, so he can walk in there Sunday. But if Daddy Magic, he can feel a little froggy, Stoke will put him down. That's how it goes.
It is how it goes.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tony Storm had another good promo on Collision, just calling after Mina Shirakawa, which I thought was solid. Her saying this pussy is on the prowl absolutely broke me.
Yes.
That was really the one thing I took away from it. She said, this pussy is on the prowl, and I died.
Dude, yeah.
That's really all I can say. Honest to God, dude. Like, she's so good, and I love how good she is at just this character, and
dude,
that line basically stopped me from thinking about anything else.
I truly believe, and like her only, like Tony Storm's only kind of representation, her equal on the men's side, if you're comparing, is Hangman. She's the face of this women's division. She is the main character of this women's division. She took this character that a lot of people laughed at and has made it one of the most popular things in AEW. The champion. Actually, let me say this. I have the wrong comparison. Toni Storm's the Jon Moxley of the women's division.
Correct.
And she is the overwhelming.
She is the champion, yeah.
She is the champion. She is the badass. You better step up to her game. There's not many people better than her in ring. There's not many people better in her character work, on the mic, all that stuff. Like she is like in her zone right now.
Yeah, no, she's doing the best stuff right now when it comes to the women's division, I feel like. Trios match between RPG Vice and Konosuke Takeshita against the Outrunners and Bandito. All I can say is the Outrunners and Bandito being this little trio is honestly something that I really enjoy. They work well together. I like how they set up for Bandito to dive to the outside. And it was a pretty damn good match. Rocky Romero basically coming up and getting the win for the family on the Outrunners. And yeah, I mean, Outrunners just seemingly are just, they are what they are. They just don't seem like there's much more viewed for them at this point in time. Like, they know they're popular and everything like that, but just there's kind of like the ceiling right now for them. But I thought this was still a damn solid match. And I do like the trio of the Outrunners and Bandito. I think they work really well together, and they do some really nice combo moves.
Yes. Only thing that I take away from this match is that I want to see Takeshita versus Bandito, whether it's for the ROH title or not.
At some point, yeah.
For the ROH title or not. But you know, you got a show called Supercard of Honor, which I will be in attendance for. And if you want a main event with Takeshita versus Vendino for the ROH World Title, yeah, I wouldn't be mad at that.
Like, you can go ahead and do that right now.
Yeah, like at all. I wouldn't be mad at that at all. So let's think about it, TK.
Yeah. Quick little video thing for Gabe Kidd and him being the hired gun for the Death Riders, basically. Moved right into a TBS championship match between Mercedes Moné and Reina. It's Reina Isis? It's Reina Isis, right?
Correct.
Okay. And this was solid too. I thought there was a nice little moment. I like how she gestured for the title and then kind of did her little dance. And then immediately got hit by the statement maker, and then she proceeded to do her CEO dance. It was a nice little moment there. But
I would have liked
it was
this
pretty
match.
solid.
I would have liked this match to have 5 more minutes, and I would have liked to see more from Reina.
Yeah, they didn't really show a ton. Considering how used we are of just when these matches get put together, like the new talent honestly gets a little bit more. It ended a lot quicker than I thought it would.
Yeah, so CMLL, like you have the CMLL partnership. You're going to be going to Mexico. I just think if you when you bring on a CMLL guy or a person on the show, you should always let them get their shit in so people can kind of see what their presentation will be.
Yeah, I am right there with you. The Sons of Texas do a quick little interview and talk about everything they've done in AEW and how they want more gold, and call out the Hurt Syndicate again. We move right into Kyle Fletcher versus Jay Lethal. This was my favorite match, probably.
Yeah.
Like the singles match, like these guys just killed it. And it's Fletcher's just on the top of his fucking game, and Jay Lethal is
Fletcher on the top of his game, and he's like 5 years away from being in his prime.
It's crazy, dude. It's genuinely nuts. Fletcher gets the win, and then they beat up on Jay Lethal. Adam Cole, who's been on commentary the whole show, gets in the ring, confronts them. The Paragon comes out and evens up the odds, sends the family scattering, and basically sets up the match for Double or Nothing, where we're going to be able to get a match between the Don Callis family and the Paragon. So that's honestly, it's pretty dope that they got that put together too. So nice little match that will get that.
These are
some damn fucking good wrestlers in that match.
It's the type of match that AEW can do anytime they want to.
Anytime.
They're like, you have the Undisputed Era, Undisputed Kingdom, Paragon, whatever names, one of the most over threesomes of the three-man teams of the last 10 years. And then you got a team with Josh Alexander, who ran TNA. Konosuke Takeshita, who was the face of DDT, dual contract wrestler, right? And then Kyle Fletcher, who is literally the best. The Proto Star is the best name ever not because the Proto Star is not the best name ever because it's cool. Because it identifies who he is. He is the future of AEW. He is the future face of AEW. He has so many amazing matches and feuds that he's going to have over the next 10 years that I cannot wait.
Mm-hmm. No, they're going to be doing some damn fun stuff,
and this is just
time to go.
This is just a 6-man match. And
yeah, that's all it is.
Yeah. It was like, and AEW can do this. No other company can.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much. Paragon immediately got into a match with the Grizzled Young Vets with Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong. And yeah, it was pretty damn solid. It was a nice little quick moment for Grizzled Young Vets. Got a lot of work in this match too. They dominated for a good majority, but to steal it out with the high-low and get the win. And then the challenge was made by Adam Cole to set up the match for Double or Nothing between Paragon and the Don Callis family. Good match. Honestly, I just wish I saw Grizzled Young Veterans on TV a little bit more. You know what I mean? I've seen them bits and pieces in some stuff, but I want to see them do even more, honestly. I just feel like having them more involved and doing more stuff would be something I'd be big into.
They cut a really good promo after the show saying the wrong team won. They were pissed. I thought it was a really good promo. So if you can find that on AEW, Grizzly Young Veterans, one of my favorite tag teams. I don't think they are just... The reason I don't think they get as over as they should is because of that. They are just a really great tag team. There's not a lot of gimmicks to them. They're just really, really good wrestlers. That's their whole thing. They're a very good heel team or whatever. The thing is, I could see this, and I'm not saying they are this. I want to make this clear. But I could see how people could see them as kind of like a poor man's FTR, because they really do work in that same vein of technical, old school tag team wrestling. But I think GYV has a place. Again, I am very much about upgrading the ROH brand. When Sammy and Dustin, if they go back or whatever goes on with these titles, GYV would be a perfect rivalry with them going into Supercard.
Yeah, they could do some really fun stuff. They could do some really, really fun stuff.
See, yeah, I can like it. I'm just saying. I'm not saying change everything, but you can make little tweaks to be great.
You can put it together still. Yeah, I think it wouldn't throw everything out of order. I feel like if you just did that. Quick little match between Josh Alexander and AR Fox, which was pretty solid. I didn't really have too much to say other than that this was solid stuff.
AR Fox.
It's just... Yeah, AR Fox, dude, like, you just need fun matches.
You just need a banger match, call AR Fox. It's that simple, really.
He's been like this, like, for weeks now.
Yeah, just, you need a banger match, call Fox.
Yeah, and Josh Alexander being an AEW man, I'm still gassed that he's here.
Yeah.
I'm just so gassed that he's here. There was the CMLL Trios match between Willardo Jr., Magnus, and Rugido. I'm so terrible at this. Versus Mystico, Mascara Dorado, and Templario. And it's exactly what you thought it would be. It's these amazing CMLL wrestlers doing what they do, flying all over the goddamn place, and just doing some unbelievable lucha libre wrestling. And yeah, it was genuinely so dope. Like, this was a lot of fun. And the baby faces get the win, and off of the shooting star press. Yeah, it was put together. CMLL Trios match. You knew exactly what this match was going to be, and it delivered on all fronts.
Correct. Yeah, this was just kind of a showcase match, so you can get used to
it was just a showcase, yeah.
Yeah, the CML wrestlers, and I thought it was great, and it served its purpose. I've seen better all lucha matches, but this one was really good.
Yeah. Chris Statlander quickly had a little interaction with Willow and basically said she was sorry, but she's dangerous, so be careful who you push because they might push back. So clearly not completely squashed, but like, trying to move past it. And then we close out the show. Speedball Mike Bailey and Commander versus Rush and Dralistico. Another fun match. Another really fun match. I liked how Dralistico was going heel-ish and just going after Commander's mask. I thought was really cool. And the double shooting star presses were fire. And yeah, really good stuff. Commander helps get the win. And then Okada comes out afterwards to stare down Speedball Mike Bailey. He tries to show respect with a bow and a handshake, but Okada just flips him right off, kicks it, and then proceeds to get his middle finger kicked away by Speedball, and then hits a kick to the face to Okada, and then took out Okada by jumping out to the outside, and then takes the Continental Championship on his way back, which was a fire move on his part. Yeah, fun way to close out the show. Fun match, and again, the stare down with Okada was really awesome too. Pretty damn solid collision filled with some pretty good wrestling, a couple of things building for Double or Nothing, and really good contract signing with our boys FTR being able to talk shit to Mr. Nigel McGuinness.
Yes. Yeah, I thought this was a good episode of Collision. I don't want to oversell it. I thought it was a good episode with a lot of good wrestling on it. But this was the build up to will build up to Double or Nothing. They actually had a countdown to Double or Nothing that happened right after the show. That was a very solid show. We look like we got 10 matches for the show. We got a pre-show match announced. This is going to be it's your standard AEW pay-per-view. And if anything's, if we know this on Sunday or Saturday,
matches announced.
There are going to be a couple more pre-show matches announced. That'll make me happy. I think AR Fox deserves a pre-show match. He's been doing such good work.
You can make that easy.
Yes, I am like, dude has been doing such amazing work over the last few months. I honestly was neither here nor there over AR Fox. But over these last few months, he has just completely won me over. I hope they find something substantial for him to do because I think he's earned it. He goes out there and he wins in spectacular. He loses in spectacular fashion, and you have to reward that eventually.
Eventually, yeah. I think he will. Honestly, I think he will at some point. And just got to give him credit for what he's been doing because he's been wrestling his ass off. But we're going to go ahead now, and we're going to give our predictions going into Double or Nothing with the card as it stands right now, which is on May 23rd, as we're recording this at 2:30 in the morning my time. The pre-show match that was announced for the buy-in, Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford versus Anna Jay and Harley Cameron. It hurts seeing Harley on the pre-show. Unfortunately for me, it just makes me bummed out a little bit. But, I'm glad that they're wrestling still. And I wonder if Anna turns on Harley, honestly. Like, I wonder if that's a thing that happens. I don't think it's got enough weight for it to happen, and I think they're too much enjoying their interactions with one another, and I think it would just be kind of just a generic thing to do, but it's something that popped into my head of, like, maybe something that could happen, but I just feel like Megan Bayne, they're still continuing to build her up and everything like that, so I think that Bayne and Ford will get the win, but in my head, I'm like, is there a chance Anna turns heel on Harley?
I think there's a chance. There's a chance. There's a chance, but Megan's the mission right now. Okay, and about Megan, critique, not criticism, critique. I hate the whole when she does the F5, she tries to land in the knee thing. I understand what she's going for. It looks terrible.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Do you feel that way? Do you feel differently? You can, whatever. Agree.
Say it again one more time.
When she does her Faith's arrow, which is an F5. When she does her F5, she tries to land in that knee pose. And to me, that keeps it from looking devastating.
Maybe a little bit. I never really focused in too much about it. Like I said, character-wise is where I just need to see more.
See, my problem is this. I literally saw Brock Lesnar's first match. I saw him do the F5 the first time. Anyone that does the F5 is going to be compared to Brock Lesnar in my head, right? I don't care female or male. Then I saw Wardlow do it. And he did the F10 where he just fucking chunked you and he spit in the air and it looked fucking amazing, right? So again, it's amazing. Even Jackson Riker, I think his name was Gunner in TNA. His F5 looked good. Her F5 comparatively is the worst that I've seen. So I want it to look better. Because I'm going to hold her. The only way to show respect to women is to hold them to the same standard as you hold men. And if a man tried to do an F5 like that, I'd be like, that shit fucking sucks. So I'm holding her to the same standard. That shit fucking sucks. Do better. F5 isn't supposed to look pretty. It's supposed to look devastating. It is a fireman's carry until roughly, if you hold it all the way through to a DDT. That is a devastating move. Make it more look like it hurt than it looked pretty.
I get that, yeah. I like I said, it wasn't something that I thought about too much, but I can understand.
I am 90.
I just need her character to be more I need to get more involved with her character still at this point in time. I think it'll get there at some point, but I'm still not fully there yet with Megan. I do see the potential, but I'm not fully there yet.
I am 99% sure that is a Floyd thing, but it is a Floyd thing.
Yep. We then had the Paragon versus the Don Callis family, the trios match. I think the Paragon needs this the most, but I feel like it's just going to be a Don Callis family win.
Dude, they seem to be pushing them. They don't lose. If you look at the Don Callis family, they really don't lose a lot.
No.
Yeah, so, and that's what you're supposed to do when you're establishing a faction. If you're establishing them as like this devastating thing, you know.
You can't lose, yeah.
You can't lose. So I think they win. I even have a specific. I think Josh Alexander pins Adam Cole, and that sets up Josh Alexander versus Adam Cole for the TNT title down the line.
Okay. Honestly, I'm hyped. I'd be hyped for that for sure. Nigel McGuinness and Daniel Garcia versus FTR. Come on. Yeah. Like, what do you think?
Shatter Machine, SPD, 1, 2, 3.
Get the win, get paid, get out of there.
Yeah, so I'm going to say this. I always go into my FTR thing, but this is going to be me for a moment being impartial. I think the goal of this is to get Daniel Garcia more over. So I think he is going to really shine in this match. They're going to work Nigel. They're going to build to a hot tag. They're going to do everything they can to make Daniel Garcia look as good as possible. But of course, we're reestablishing FTR as a heel tag team. So I feel at some point there's going to be some cheating and FTR is going to win the match. But if you're talking about the mission of this match, it's Daniel Garcia. Because I think the TNT run was the TNT run. I don't think it was really well executed. I think his next run with the title is going to be the run that really makes a difference. So they really need to start establishing him. And this is the type of match where he can really shine. Okay, but now back to your regularly scheduled program. FTR about to fuck them up.
Fuck them up. Fuck them up.
Yeah.
Mark Briscoe versus Ricochet in a stretcher match. It's Ricochet.
Dude,
it's absolutely Ricochet.
Dude,
we're leaning heavy on the heels getting the wins right now early on.
Dude, okay. Dude, I just love Ricochet. He's my kind of heel. When I started watching wrestling, I always talk about how I lean towards the heels instead of the faces. And this is the type of person I lean at. He just cares about winning, you know? If he can embarrass you a little bit, that's great. But in the end, he cares about winning. Mark Briscoe, again, the most lovable. He is the Mick Foley of AEW. He is the most lovable guy in AEW. If you don't like Mark Briscoe, I wonder what's wrong with you. Like, that's how lovable that man is.
Yes.
So I'd be glad. But when you're having these type of matches, even though Mark Briscoe, legend, but in his character as the lovable guy can't win a stretcher match. He has to lose it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is not the time for him to win.
Yeah, it's not the time for him to win. Yeah.
We then get the Continental Championship match between Okada and Speedball Mike Bailey. God, it would be awesome if Speedball wins this, but he can't beat Okada at this point in time. He's just not ready yet. But I'm really excited for the match itself, but I think it'll be an Okada retain, though. I think it's pretty safe to say.
Oh, yeah. I think they're going to have an amazing match because that's what Speedball does, and then Okada's going to win.
Yep. Tag Team Championship match, the Hurt Syndicate versus the Sons of Texas. Another fun one. I think it'll be a retain for the Hurt Syndicate. Any predictions on what MJF does?
I think he's going to help him retain. And I imagine there's going to be at least a moment of miscommunication in that match.
At some point, and it'll piss off Lashley, I bet you.
Correct, because I don't know where this is going, but I'm loving it. Yeah. Because I love, we talk about this all the time. Me and you have watched, between us, like 60 years of professional wrestling. So we've seen a lot. When we can't kind of see where something's going, while that might frustrate some people, it appeals to me. Because it gives me a reason. It gives me a reason to watch the next week. So I literally have no real prediction other than Hurt Syndicate winning.
And I got Hurt Syndicate as well. Yeah. Women's World Championship, Timeless Toni Storm versus Mina Shirakawa. Tony is still timeless, and she's still gonna hold the belt. It's gonna be timeless Tony Storm. Which I mean, this is gonna lead me to a bold thought in our next match prediction, though.
Yeah, I think we'll see the reappearance of Mariah May at some point in this match.
Yeah, I've seen her being posted on social media a lot of old stuff. So I'm wondering if she said like a girl goes on vacation for just a little bit and everyone goes crazy. So I think there could be an appearance. Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what I think people do lose in AEW. Is she had a long run where she was on TV, the face of the face of the division for a long period of time. She took a break. It allows her to get mentally fit. It allows her to get physically fit and come back. And maybe she's coming back to finish up with AEW. Maybe she's signing a new contract and it'll be with AEW forever. It honestly doesn't matter. It's just the way the company is set up right now, being so deep, it allows people to take these breaks. And sometimes we can read into it and it's right. Sometimes we can read into it and it's wrong. But I say take it as a grain of salt, and I'm just going to hope she comes back because I do like Mariah May on the roster.
I like Mariah May on my TV at all times.
Correct.
TBS Championship match actually, no, it's not TBS Championship. It's the Owen Hart Women's Tournament Final featuring the TBS champion, Mercedes Moné, facing Jamie Hayter. And I say Jamie Hayter gets the win here.
And
I just think at this point, it's not for the title. It's for a tournament final. She can win, then use that as momentum to get another match where she tries to win the TBS Championship itself, or maybe she goes after the women's title and then gets jumped by Mercedes and then can set up another match later on. But I just feel like it has to be Jamie.
Yes.
Like, Mercedes doesn't get anything out of this match if she wins it. Jamie gets everything out of it. So I feel like just Jamie Hayter.
This is want versus think. I want Jamie Hayter to win. I want Jamie Hayter versus Tony Storm at All In. Jamie Hayter comes back at All In London, then comes back to get the title shot at All In Texas. Seems like perfectly. I feel like they're building up to a women's super match, though. I think Mercedes versus Tony for all the titles, that's the match at All In. I truly think it might even main event All In. So that's why I think Mercedes is going to win.
Okay. I'm going to go bold with it. I'm going to go.
No, like I said, if you ask me who I want to win, it's Jamie all the way. I just think they're going for the super ultimate women's match, main event headline match, Tony Storm versus Mercedes, everything on the line.
Okay. Anarchy in the arena. Kenny Omega, Will Nightingale, Swerve Strickland, Samoa Joe, Katsuyori Shibata, Powerhouse Hobbs versus the Death Riders, which is Claudio, Yuta, Mox, and Shafir, and the Young Bucks. I'm going to go ahead and go bold with it again. Eddie Kingston comes out to be the extra man, helps out our boys, and the babyfaces get the win on this one, is what my goal is with this.
You're going to hate what I'm about to say.
You're going to say Death Riders and Young Bucks, and I'm going to jump off the bridge.
I'm going to
jump off the bridge. Nearest bridge I can find, and you're going to not be able to do the show with me for weeks.
I think Eddie Kingston comes back and evens it up. I think he does. And then Jungle Boy, or a.k.a. Jack Perry, comes back and unevens it up. And the Death Riders, with the re-debuting Jack Perry, get the win. Now, that's why I said I knew you were going to hate it, because I was going to bring up the name of the person you hate the most.
Yes, because that's what we need to do when we're trying to put gasoline on this feud. We need to immediately douse it with just the coldest of water with no heat whatsoever.
Anarchy in the arena, baby. When you got anarchy, you got to have it. You got to have Jack come back. I mean, if he's healthy, have Hook come back too, but I still think the Death Riders get the win.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Whatever you say. Finally, main event, the men's tournament final for the Owen Hart Cup, Will Ospreay versus Hangman Adam Page. I'm going bold. I'm picking Ospreay. I know everyone and their mother has been saying Hangman. I'm going to go Ospreay.
The world wants Hangman. But this is the thing. I don't think, in my personal opinion, this is looking ahead, What I see coming is why I'm making my prediction. I don't see Mox losing it All In. I think Mox is going to lose at Darby whenever that happens. So I think the person that wins is going to lose. And having Hangman get to Mox at All In and lose would be one of the worst decisions in company history. So for that, I'm going with Ospreay also, because I think he's going to lose it All In.
Okay.
All
right.
If you do Hangman, the next time Hangman gets a title shot, he should be winning it.
Yeah.
He's probably the most over he's been in a very long time. If this was me, everybody says call the audible, pivot, all the audible, pivot, call the audible, pivot. That's their big thing. I get it. Whatever. And I usually say, you know me, no. Stick with your plan. You know I am there. Stick with your plan. Call the audible, pivot. Hangman wins, and then Hangman wins it All In. Hangman being the guy to beat Mox, I think, honestly, even means more than Darby. As much as I love Darby. And we haven't did a show. Congratulations on Darby.
Yes. He did it. He got the flag. He made it to the top of Mount Everest, and he posed with the flag. Yeah. Honestly, so cool to see that he did it. Now I hope we can finally get this man back on TV, because I miss my boy Darby, but I'm happy he did it. He said he was going to do it, and he did it. I give him all the props in the world. That takes guts. That takes a whole lot of chutzpah to be able to do that.
And let me tell you this, going with that, guts, if Tony Khan sticks with the storyline and it just eventually goes to Darby Allin beating Jon Moxley, become the champion, I'm going to say brass balls.
Oh my God!
Booking legend
to do it like
booking
that,
legend, because the reason being is because I feel like at every point in time, any wrestling guy with as hot as Hangman is right now would just give the title to Hangman. If to stick to your guns through this and still go with Darby, I got to commend you, whether it works or not, whatever. But I got to commend you.
Yeah, I mean, that would be a damn big decision to do that. I would be stunned if they go through with it, but I wouldn't be mad at it, though.
Yes.
But that is our predictions for Double or Nothing as the card stands as it does right now. We've got a couple quick little headlines we got to touch on real quick before we close out this episode of All Things Elite.
Dude, yeah, I accidentally closed my page. Give me just a second.
Hey, you're good, man.
Yeah, I accidentally clicked out on Chrome completely, and I didn't bring up all my pages. Next, well, it's 3 days from now at this point, because it's May 25th. Or what today? Is it May 23rd?
Today's the 23rd.
Yeah, there was a dirt on my screen, so I read it as a 5. So Wednesday, May 28th, Reebok, Swerve, Answer 3s coming out. I guess Big E was on the list of people that got him first.
Yes.
I saw him. I saw O'Shea Jackson Jr., a.k.a. who I call him Ice Cube Jr., had his. Looks amazing. I don't know how I didn't make the list, Swerve. I'm not going to take it personally, but I don't know how I didn't make the list. But no, I will be up Wednesday morning ordering a pair of shoes. I think these are amazing. You didn't get to say this last week because we didn't have a show, but Allen Iverson, I was the first. They weren't 3s. I don't remember. It's the one that had the I on the tongue or whatever. The first pair of nice shoes, quote unquote, nice shoes that I bought myself. I was rocking the K-Swiss and all that stuff. My parents were like $50, $60 is the most I'm going to spend on a pair of shoes. So the first quote unquote nice pair of shoes I ever bought was some Allen Iversons. And now it's Allen Iverson with Swerve. I'm going to have them. So, man, this is going to end up being a pretty fucking amazing shoe week for me. But, yeah, I think they are awesome. The new Swerve shirts go perfectly with them. So, I definitely, if you get the shoes, look into getting the shirt with them. And yeah, support Swerve. I just think this is a big step up for it as far as his shoes. And I'm looking forward to him. I'm really excited for him. I'm
hyped that they got a shoe deal.
It's a must-bust for me, yeah.
I definitely can't pull those ones off, but you can definitely pull those off. So you'll grab those for sure.
Yes.
But yeah, and then the only other thing too, I want to shout out our boy Jim Ross too.
Yes, colon cancer, man.
Yeah,
and I mean, I've said this. When people talk about the voices of their life, you hear Morgan Freeman. He's like, if anybody on there can narrate my life, it'd be Morgan Freeman, and all these deep voices out there, all these great voices out there. James Earl Jones. For me, the voice of my life is Jim Ross. There is not an announcer or commentator, anybody in that level that means more to me than good old JR. Him being an Oklahoman, and if you can't hear it, I fucking love my city, and I love my state. So him being Oklahoma means the world to me. He was the face of, announcing. Shout out to Walter Stewart, also the voice of New Japan. Oklahoma, if you need a voice, come to my state. Yeah, Jim Ross is I'm going to pray that Jim Ross gets better. He fights through this. He's a fighter. He's going to fight like John Wayne because, that man loves John Wayne. And
he does.
And he's going to make it. And,
oh, yeah, he will. No, 1,000% he will.
Thoughts and prayers, but absolutely positive energy coming from the group here at All Things Elite at Social Suplex. 100% behind Jim Ross and in his recovery.
Absolutely. And man, as a guy who loves commentary, you can't not love commentary and not respect the GOAT, Jim Ross, and hope he's fighting through this. And I know he will. All love and all best wishes to Jim Ross, good old JR. But that, guys, I think is going to do it for this episode of All Things Elite. Guys, we appreciate the support, and we appreciate you guys tuning in every single week. If you enjoy the show, download us on YouTube Music, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you choose to listen to us on. Turn automatic downloads on. Give us a share with your friends, family, coworkers, whoever you wish. Rate, review, subscribe. Follow us on Twitter at ATElitePod. You can also follow at Social Suplex, who make this show possible. Check out all the other shows they have on their network. I am at Austin Sumowitz, SCUMOWICZ. Floyd is at Floyd Johnson Jr. on Twitter. Go to Chop Tees, buy yourself a t-shirt, sign up for the Social Suplex newsletter. Links are in the description of the show. Enjoy Double or Nothing this weekend. I've got a busy weekend of going to some weddings. That's what I got going on. So my boy Floyd, I will pass it off to him so he can take us home on this episode of All Things Elite.
I wish Austin the best of luck in picking up women at the wedding. That's, that'll make you goated right there.
With the sauce.
Yes, there you go. Show them the sauce. No, but final replugs. These are the replugs. At Social Suplex Discord. The link will be in the show notes. At my boy Raymond, which is blueprint_OKC on Instagram. The link will be in the show notes. Make sure you look at Chop Tees. Think about getting to All Things Elite or one of the many fine shows on the show. One of many fine shows on the network. Make sure you try to get a shirt. Represent us at All In. But yeah, the Discord is the place to be as far as where it goes. I know I'm pushing it hard, but like I said, I've kind of, I feel like it's a good community on there. And I would not tell you about something. I would just not bring it up if I didn't think it was a good community on our Discord. So definitely be on there. And with that, I will leave you with some words of wisdom. We're heading towards summer. Go to your electric company. If you pay you pay your bills, go to your electric company, and they have a lot of resources on there to help with the energy cost in your house. I know this is a very old man thing to bring up. I get it. But good Lord, the electric bills going up in the summer is a major problem for most of the people. Economy, the money situation, all that stuff. Money's tight. So make sure you look at those resources to keep your electric and all your energy bills down as we get into this very probably hot summer. And just be nice to everybody. Be there for people when you can. Help them out when you can. We're all going through stuff, but if you can just be a positive, be a light out there, that's good. So with that, I will leave you how I always leave you. Whether it is home, work, or school, always do your best to be elite.